Hey Jay,
Hello.
so glad everyone's here.
Hi Jay, hi Mick, hi Andrea.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
All right, so we can start the AMA. First, I would like to do an intro from Serge, our graphic, our game designer and director, and also from Mick, our CEO and founder at Urbia Labs. What is I Know This Place, how we came up with this idea, so you guys can all get to know of our new game that is coming tomorrow on Steam. So, guys, would you like to start?
All right, let me jump in. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Andrea, for organizing it, and for our special guest who's talking about the state of web gaming quite soon. We are very excited to be launching a new game on Steam tomorrow. Um, the team's been working on this product almost 2 years. And for us, really launching on Steam is mean reaching a web audience and bring a bridging Web 2 and Web 3. So getting more people on board to Web 3 with our amazing new and exciting adventure quest, experimental quest. Serge is going to talk about what this game is about. Well, of course, the best is to go tomorrow on Steam, download the game, play, and see for yourself. You need a Windows PC or laptop for that. So just do it, guys. Just do it tomorrow. It only costs $7.99 in Europe and US. So just like coffee in the Starbucks, really. So do it, support us, and well, thanks for being our loyal community for all 2 years. This is a very exciting time for us. So without further ado, let me give the floor to Serge, who'll talk more about that, who's going to do the about the
Yeah, thank you. So my name is Serge, and actually I'm a game designer and I think like director of the I Know This Place project. And the main idea of I Know This Place, this idea came when we decided to do something unusual. But at the same time, like you can jump above your head. And therefore, taking into account our experience in the development of other projects, of VR projects, so we decided that our first game like will be a game in the quest genre, and it will be divided into chapters. This way we can do them pretty quickly, and actually for first chapter we need 1 year, but for second and other next chapters I think we need a few months to make it. But the main feature, as already mentioned, is that we build chapters together with our community. So in fact our players themselves decide in which direction to move the plot. We give them a lot of like different hooks already in the first chapter. We try to make sure that I think each player understands what is happening there in his own way. That is why the first chapter you will ask yourself a lot of questions, and this is how it works.
I have to say, when I first played, there were so many mysteries and so many things I didn't understand. And at the end of the first chapter, you have an idea of what might be happening there. But at the same time, from what I know from Serge and your team, is that it's way bigger than what you think of at the first chapter. So it's going to be a great journey. I would like to also introduce you guys our guest. It's a streamer and also a gamer. His name is G. Crowd. and we met him some weeks ago. We had a meeting with him. So, welcome, G-Crowd. Welcome to our team, to our community of gamers. Would you like to introduce yourself to our log game community and another community?
Yeah, of course. Let me try to just set up the camera, but in the meantime, I can keep talking. So I've been in the crypto space since late 2021, and I just kind of get stuck into it after coming from I come from a computer science and programming background, but I was kind of sick of it, so I started exploring the Web3 space. That a close friend of mine introduced me to it, and after 4 or 5 months, I got completely sucked in Web3 gaming, learning about tokenomics, game economies, and everything. And in my head, it just made sense that Web3 gaming, sooner or later, is the future of gaming. It might take its time, but I wanted to be a part of it and started exploring and helping projects in the space try to come out on top, right? So that's what I did. And then I started joining communities that are extremely focused on that and projects. And that's how I came about Log Game, because you guys hit me up on Twitter and let me try out your card game. Now you're coming up with this Steam game. I try to reply to everyone that does not seem too much like a scam, because it's always dangerous in this space. And yeah, now I do Twitter Spaces where I invite one project at a time and do a deep dive interview on them of Web3 gaming projects. I do Twitch streams 3 times a week, and I just try to be as involved as possible in this scene.
All right, sounds great. Sounds like a long road, actually. And I would like to ask you, what do you think is the current state of Web3? So we are almost 2 years in a bear market. We have seen a lot of games vanishing from the space, a lot of new games coming up. What do you think is the market right now for Web3 games? And what's the future holding for 2023 and beyond?
It's a really complex question, so I'll try not to speak 30 minutes on it. But it's a great question, so thank you. So I think the future is really exciting, and there's a couple of reasons why. First, we've been starting to see the last couple of months serious names from the Web2 background of gaming being interested and joining teams and starting to build with us. Beyond serious builders, also investors. We're starting to see investors come in that are OG investors in Web2 gaming. And if they're investing in Web3 gaming, it's because they believe in it. They wouldn't just throw money at it just because, right? So that's one thing that's exciting. It's exciting to see lots of projects starting to come out with actually fun games, because as we all know, 1 year away in the last bull markets, it was just the typical pump and dumps and kind of scam games where there was not much game to play, and it was all about earning for the first few weeks on the game, and then we just saw NFTs and the other tokens crashing down, right? So it's exciting to see games coming out with closed playtests and alphas where you people are starting to have fun and enjoy the game as gamers, and not just trying to go there and get their tokens pumped and leave the game. And beyond that, I think the major shift that I've seen is the way we talk about Web3 gaming. There's people nowadays understanding that it is a hard topic to talk about. There's lots of things we need to discuss, and above everything, projects need to stick together, because no one is yet still to figure out what works in terms of a model for a Web3 game. How should they implement tokens and NFTs in such a way that Web2 gamers are interested and don't shy away from it just from hearing the word NFTs or digital assets or crypto,
Yeah.
because they're used to thinking that's a scam. So I think it's really interesting to see that projects starting to collaborate and help each other to try and figure out how to be successful, because I don't think we are in a place where we can afford for these projects to be competing against each other, because in reality we're still in a super small bubble, and we are yet to see big success come towards it and onboarding. So I think to wrap up my answer, I think in 2023 you'll keep seeing uh, more exciting news, but I don't think onboarding will be coming, major onboarding. I think some gamers will start to shift and start to explore as some interesting game genres, like maybe a good game comes out in battle royale or in card games that has some crypto features, and it makes them interested. But I would say, if I had to bet, I would say 2025 will be the year of major onboarding, and until then, we'll see some slowly onboarding of a few communities here and there from quite specific games. But it's a slow and steady grind, but I also think that's important because I do not recognize that right now we are ready to grab 1 million players and come into Web3, because most games are not ready for that and they need time to build, and our patience as users and players to just give them feedback and help on doing that.
So you mentioned there is a transition from Web 2 to Web 3 gaming, but it's slow and it's difficult. Would you say there are some stereotypes for Web 2 gamers towards the Web 3 games? Do they think there are scams, or do they think the level is not the same? Or what is it? You're a gamer. I think you're the best person to tell us actually what is missing from Web3 games and why there is this stereotype that they're not competing with Web2 games.
Another great question. I'm liking this. So I think the stereotype was just based on what happened and the image that the public kind of got from gaming in Web3, right? Because it was in reality, and we have to be honest here, it was just pump and dumps and scams for the most of it until a couple of months ago. And so the gamers just got that fed to them onto them, and it was the truth. So they still have that stigma around this scene. So we need proper games to come out for them to see gameplay, have fun, and then later on they kind of get tricked onto playing a game, and then later on they understand that it has NFTs and tokens, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's actually not a scam. I can just have fun, and after a few hours of playing, I can actually, oh, I have an NFT I can sell, and it's worth money, and it's mine." So I think that's the way we need to do. We kind of trick gamers, OG Web2 gamers, to play our game, and then later on we teach them, oh, by the way, you have something that's worth $80 because you spent 200 hours in our game having fun and climbing the ranks. And I think that's the major reason why there's a stigma. And the way to break that, I think, is just keep on showing that we are here to stay, we are here to build, and it does not matter if it'll take a month, 2 months, 1 year, or 2 years, but sooner or later, there will be projects with enough quality to go and say, oh, let's take a really big example so it's easy for people to understand. Oh, there's Fortnite. Yeah, Fortnite's amazing game is too. But have you heard of X and X that just came out and it has this? Can it compete with Fortnite? Maybe not yet. Is the game as good and fun? Maybe it is. Why don't you give it a try? So I think it'll have to reach that point where we have good enough games to compare. We saw their drop by Dr. Disrespect, which they launched their kind of open offer, so people could buy in just for $20, no NFT, just a regular pricing model for Web2. And it was really exciting because lots of people joined from that were Web2 gamers. They were playing the game, and there's voice chat inside the game, and people were talking with them saying, oh, do you know this game has NFTs? They were like, yeah, no idea. I'm just having fun playing the game. And I think that's the tiny show of what will happen in the future with Web3 gaming. And I think it's just a matter of patience and time for us to keep doing that, and also be slightly tricky with the marketing.
All right, I hear that. I also see Jay joining us. He's our senior developer. Hey, Jay. And also Mick back again. So nice to see you guys. Would you like to do a comment on Web3 gaming to Web2 this bridge, or would you like to move on to the next chapter?
No, it's a really good stuff what Jay was talking about, because now we understand it by experience. Being in both Web3 and Web2. I mean, building a Web3 game for 2 years, building a Web2 game that we are bridging with, we are naming it Web 2.5, and leveraging community on Web3, trying to promote a Web2 product was really something that we had to learn a lot from this experience. And so far, our conclusion was like, oh, these communities are still not overlapping, and that's good, really, really valuable comment. So yes, indeed, like for the time we see that launching a Web2 game, you definitely need to have a prime focus on traditional gamers that are not so well. Let's say they're not excited about like crypto, blockchain, NFTs like we are. Like we think naturally everyone is so excited and likes it, just like us. But hey, no, it's not the case, and things will change. But they are changing. I mean, we thought that things would change 2 years ago when we started. They're changing our, folks in Web3 would like to see. Like, we like everything to be done like yesterday. Like ADHD on steroids, sort of in Web3, because things are moving so fast. The technology develops so fast. But hey, for many other folks, for the majority actually of the world's population, it's not the case. So yeah, interesting. But of course, business strategy wise, it's something to take into consideration. I believe for any product and marketing team at any Web3 startup that wants to target the Web2, the traditional Web2 gaming audience.
Thanks a lot, Meek. So last thing I would like to say is that Gcrod actually tested log games. So I would like to do a small parenthesis here, just 1-2 minutes to tell us if you liked the game, if you enjoyed it, and you will get to play and know this place as well. So we are pending the release tomorrow, and then you could play. What do you think?
No, I think that's great. I'm excited to try it in the new game. I talked already with Mick about the log game. I had fun. I think a good thing there that you have is you have a different mechanic from most TCG games out there, or maybe all, at least that I've tried. I think that's good because there's a lot of TCG games, and there needs to be a way for you to stand out. And with the board and all the directions you can attack, and you need to think about the strategy there, that's exciting. I would really like to see live PvP. So there's a person there directly live on that. I know you have the friends option right now. That was exciting to play versus Mick on the call. But I'd love to see like a live queue where maybe just your community can go in Discord and kind of all go at the live queue and start maybe bad mouthing each other, let's say like that, and just kind of teasing each other about the game. I think that could be really fun. And I like the art and all the memes, the crypto memes. I thought that was exciting. I think you have a good base there to build from, which I can say that not all TCG games in Web3 have. I'm not much of the TCG guy, but when they're good games, I don't mind playing. I played Hearthstone quite a bit back in my days, and I would say I have tried out maybe at least 10 or 12 TCG Web3 games, and there's only been 3 that have actually different mechanics from all the others out there, and that could become unique and slightly successful on that genre because of that, and yours is one of them.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I would like to thank you for coming and for joining. We have to jump to the AMA part because we had our community submitting questions for I Know This Place, which is releasing tomorrow on Steam. And I'm gonna jump straight to the questions from our community. So we have the first one from Rainbow Top Gun, and he says, I know this place is marketed as closely linked to the log game and branding. Exactly how are they tied together, and what benefits will LSG holders receive from their relationship? whether be a token for all displays.
Hmm.
So I think this question is for Mick.
I'll jump on this one, and I'm happy to see that Rainbow Top Gun is posing the
Yay.
question. He's our like really hardcore community member and very dear to our heart. Supports us for since early days. Believes in our in our vision, what we are building, and well, yes. And for the past 1 week, we've been communicating on a daily basis about I know this place, and that may not have come across to log game just straightforward because suddenly we are talking about a totally different game and we are launching, and we tried to make it as beneficial to log game token holders as possible, and that's why we call it a game, a Web 2.5 game. So what is happening in a nutshell? We launched it on Steam, which is the #1 gaming platform in the world. Literally providing access to close to a billion users worldwide. And what is happening is that we purchased the game. My colleague's going to explain more on pricing, why we chose this pricing, the technology. But ultimately, at the end of the game, community is deciding what's going to happen in the next chapter. You complete, if you succeed, complete the quest, you solve the riddles, you get to answer the questions, and you get to for a person if you don't have a wallet. If you have the wallet, Ethereum address, we're going to be using actually Polygon for that. If you have the wallet, submit the wallet to us. If you don't, you're going to create the wallet, and we are going to send 20 LOCG, generally 20 LOCG. The first 100 players who submit the form is going to get 100, then 50, then 10 LOCG on this wallet. And you can use this as a vote mechanics. So a community is really the place, are in the driving seat for the game. They influence what happens in the game and some other interesting mechanics that we plan to introduce. For instance, have a new character in the chapter, and so on and so forth. We may introduce also a pay to implement feature with LOCG, for instance. Want to have a special postcard in the game with yourself or with your narrative, for it with LOCG, and part of that LOCG is going to be burned, so reducing the circulation of total supply of LOCG. So be it burn mechanics or a simple distribution of a small amount of LOCG among Web2 folks that are majority of gamers on Steam, it's already a benefit, in our view, to log game community and Web3 overall, because our goal is to reach as many Web2 folks with this strategy as possible. And we are streamlining. We're going to streamline the vote procedure as simplify it as much as possible. So it's as frictionless as possible for crypto. You know how the barrier is pretty. The barrier for not a still for not a techie person. So in increasing our token holder base with folks who are interested really to participate in what happens in the next chapters, plus with the vote via DAO and pay to implement feature in the future chapters as well. Thanks again. Thanks for the question, Rainbow Top Gun. Let's move on.
All right, thank you, Mick. The next one is quite simple, but I think one of the most crucial ones is how to play I Know This Place. Serge, would you like to reply on that?
Yeah, it's a really hard question. At this moment, the pilot chapter, the first chapter, is available exclusively on the Steam platform. In the future, we would like to port I Know This Place to consoles and to other platforms like Epic Game Store, EA, or something else. About system requirements, it's they are on our Steam page, but for best like gaming experience, you need Windows 10. You need Xbox gamepad if you like gamepads, but we love the smoothness of playing on gamepad in quests in such games. And you need graphic card like NVIDIA GTX 1060 or better, processor like Ryzen second generation on better, and about 6 gigabytes of RAM. So that's all. But first of all, you need buy it on Steam tomorrow.
Thank you. And there's another question also for you. What is the game about? And here you can also reply on another question about the inspiration for the game. The inspiration question is from Thomas, and the what is the game about is from Jasper.
I see. The game is essentially an experiment. So, what will happen if we create a game in the quest genre and make the plot at the beginning so strange and so confusing that everyone will understand it on their own? So, and we will let the players build like further story with us through the voting system. Like Mick said, it's a DAO system, or like you simply can join the Google form after playing. So this is a community-driven game, and we want the players to feel it as something friendly, and if they are part of this game, because the first chapter is not so really long gameplay. It's about half an hour, but it's really interesting, and this is the magic of indie games actually. In short, this game will like immerse you in the vibe, in the atmosphere of 19th, somewhere in Eastern Europe. But at the same time, everything will be in mysticism and mysteries. So, little spoilers. The main character, the main hero, will come to the place where he spent his childhood, and he will visit his friend, his old friend from his childhood. However, upon arrival, he will not find him in his apartment, and yes, everything around, although it looks familiar and breathes with like nostalgia, but lives its own life as it. So the player will be wondering, do I know this place? So this is the main thing. And about next question, from Thomas, about inspiration. So previously we have done many projects in other spheres, many creative projects in various fields, and we have received some awards from Epic Games and from Oculus for VR, from virtual reality, metaverse, and these things really motivates to do something unusual and come up with something new. So for nowadays, I think no one can be surprised by the graphics in the games. Especially if you're a indie developer, it's hard to make a really nice and good game in, for example, half a year or in 1 year. So therefore, we thought that we should try to surprise with very interesting and creative idea of creating a game series, driven by the community. So this is community-driven game with separate chapters. So something like this.
All right, thank you so much. I have another question from Christian Happert. He actually has two questions, so we will be replying to both. And he says, will it be possible to play log game on the unknown displays, or this is not even planned? Hmm, this is two different games, but I think Serge is better to reply on that.
It's a really tricky question. This is completely different games because, as you understand, log game is a card game, and Another's Place is like first-person quest game. So their connection within the framework of the Cryptise metaverse is planned for the future. So as you know, RBL Labs now develop Cryptise metaverse, and there will be, I think, log game, and I know this place, and other projects and games, and they will be connected.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
And another question from Christian is, what is the goal of Unknown Displays, and in which direction will it develop? That is, what is your vision?
so. I think our goal is to have a large audience of satisfied players, of happy players, who will offer their story ideas, their puzzles, and they want to build this game with us. So consistently releasing game chapters every few months or even faster. So this is like our goal.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you so
So
much.
let me just add to it. So it's very the goal aligns so much with the vision for Web3, with decentralization and with co-creation of by community. So initially, it's been a year ago since Serge joined our team, and the story behind how we actually onboarded, I know the space and decided to support it, added to our product ecosystem, is the vision was so aligned, whereby community decides what happens in next chapters, right? So this is it's a total co-creation where when we started with log game, we were so much inspired by the GameFi opportunities where we put the gamer in the driving seat. So the gamer not only pays and enjoys and buy go, or like spends lots of stuff on cosmetics, in-game assets, and then doesn't do anything with them. But what GameFi can offer is interoperability of the assets, profit share via play to earn model that we are building in log game. And here we are adding a DAO vote blockchain where players influence what happens in the next chapter. So it's a total alignment. It's first of all the alignment of the strategies, and also like the common goal for what crypto is all about, right? Is democratization of finance and other industries, decentralization, co-creation, and for the gaming industry is really putting the gamer, the player, in the driver's seat. You're no longer an observer, or an outsider, or a consumer of the product. You are co-creating this product directly with the company that's involved.
Yeah, I think that's the coolest part of it is, it's not the team's vision for what I know this place is going to become. It's a combination of the team's vision and the community's proposals, and what they think is going to be a cool game. That it's so exciting that I'm so happy to be a part of this because I think it's just such a cool idea to be able to bring this and have everyone get involved.
Thank you, Jay. And I have a question for you. This one is from Marco, and he says, "Will the LSG ecosystem keep building awesome games like this? And is this a positive trend to look forward to?"
I certainly hope so. I'm having a blast. I really hope that everyone else is enjoying it as well, and if we can continue to bring cool products to market and be successful, then I definitely don't see an end to it. I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, we are. We are all are. So I have another question again from Marco, and he says, "Tell us more about how LSG will play a role in an all displays." And this is a question that I got at least like 4 times from different people. So I think we need to clear everything out for everyone about LSG and an all displays.
Yeah, so the nice thing about I know this place and the integration with LOCG, it kind of comes back to what G Crud was saying about like the Web 2 gamers being a little bit skeptical about things with Web 3 because of some of the scams that have been reported and things. So where LOCG comes in, it's nice because you have that traditional Web 2 gaming aspect, and the Web3 aspect of it is coming in at no cost to you initially. When you buy the game, we're going to send out some LOCG that's going to be used in a DAO to vote. That's going to be on the Polygon chain, as Mick mentioned, but the DAO is set up as to where it recognizes both the Ethereum chain and the Polygon chain. So current holders who already support Rebel Labs and Legends of Crypto and already have LOCG are already set up in that. And then within the DAO, there's going to be a structure of, we'll make sure that everyone who buys has enough LOCG to vote, and people who want to make proposals or do other things as we build, then we can have levels set for that to be able to make those proposals and things. And then the nice part about integrating that blockchain technology is you're giving it a very transparent view. It's one thing to put polls up and stuff like that that are kind of like a centralized thing, but when everything is out in the open, we can see exactly what are the users interested in, what do people want to see, and it just helps us build a better product. So like I said, I'm super excited about it, and I hope everyone's as jacked as I am.
Yeah. And I have the last question. So we reached the end. Unfortunately, we couldn't ask all the questions, but I tried to ask the most important ones. This one is from Alexander, and he says, how does integration of blockchain technology and the use of the LSG token in an all displays enhance the overall gaming experience of players, and what benefits does it bring to the gaming ecosystem?
And I think that's kind of as I mentioned, you have that community driven choice and kind of leading the direction of the game. The transparency of the blockchain, where everything's public, you can see exactly what everyone's asking to do. The LOCG token. It has obviously the benefits for the early adopters with us, the play to earn aspect of the other games. So it kind of ties everything together nicely under the Rebel Labs studio, and just kind of lets us put out different products and experiences. So there's something for everybody. So I think it's a good thing.
I think as an LSG holder, I know this place is something I would definitely try. And I would really enjoy the voting, creating votes if I have enough LSG. If I don't, then I could vote on other proposals. And just like that, you kind of put your own brick on the wall of creating the second chapter, the third one. And yeah, I think it's incredible. You can even propose the fact that you want to add like a photograph or something that is really personal to you inside the game, and you just make the game your own experience and the way you see it through your eyes.
Yeah, I think it's also a very basically no risk entry to blockchain and Web3 for people who are unsure. To set up a wallet is absolutely free. We're going to send the tokens for the voting, and if you decide to immerse yourself more, then it's something you can explore and learn about. but it doesn't kind of have that scariness of having to put out a bunch of money to do something or make a huge investment. It's small, manageable chapters of the game that you can play and kind of get the experience and see what it's all about.
Yeah, I would say it's a perfect game for someone who has no idea about Web3 games, have never played them. He likes first-person quest games, and he's just like, okay, let me try something different. At least I will be able to help with the development or the plot. So yeah, it's really fascinating, and I have many friends who play games, but they have no idea what Web3 gaming is. And this is definitely something I shared, and I said, you have to check it out. It's different, and it will get you closer to Web3 without noticing it.
A very soft introduction.
All right, so we reached our final part, which is a raffle. As you all know, all your questions that you submitted, we kept the valid ones, which were actual questions. And we will do a raffle for one winner who will win the game I Know This Place. And he will get to play before the release. So he will be the first one to play besides our team, of course. So I'll be starting the vote now and sharing my screen.
Ta-da!
Okay, can you see my screen, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the names. You will be, tell me when to start. Tell me when to start. Should I start?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. Find our I Know This Place winner. And that's Usman Tariq Pati. Congratulations. I'll be doing like this.
Congratulations.
He will be the first one to play I Know This Place. Of course, we're going to have several other giveaways and competitions, everything you can imagine. That's just the beginning of I Know This Place, and I think great days are coming after tomorrow. And our release is at 8:30 p.m. CT. So visit our Steam page if you want to buy the game and start playing the first chapter.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. Andrew, thanks for being an amazing host. Jenny, Serge, thank you guys. And stay tuned. Play the game tomorrow. Thanks.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Guys. Bye.
Thank you for having me. Bye bye.